on. Technical terms. Yes, we are professionals here. Do not try this at home. Hey, Facebook. I'm Joe Orsak, host of the Whine No Whine Show. That's right, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour. That's right, we are saving America one civil conversation at a time. The Whine No Whine Show. That was really interesting. It's like music happening.
Background music.
Background music for a second there. That was really strange.
That's a programming issue. I wasn't briefed on that.
Yes.
I don't know if I can do this now.
Yeah, who's up in the command center?
Bingo.
Yeah, I've had all kind of crazy technical issues today. We're coming to you live on my phone as opposed to the cool camera we normally have. We've had all kind of issues. But hey, that's the wonderful world of technology. So, we're going to be talking about all kind of fun stuff on the show as we do every week. And we're going to have our shameless plugs and introductions section of the show, because this show is free right now, so I pay my guests by allowing them to give themselves shameless plugs.
And drink wine.
And drink phenomenal wine.
Basically.
That's right. So, without further ado, we'll start on my left. Steve!
Oh, hi. My name is Steve, Steve Williams, and I am a local, lowest of the rung on the political ladder, precinct chair in Harris County. Been doing this show for quite some time and enjoy every single one of them and enjoy the interactions. So, without further ado, I have to wonder, hey, who could that be?
Who could that be?
Who could that be at the door? Hey, get in here, man.
Oh.
All right, see?
Look at that.
We just had
Custom shows up with a soundtrack.
Oh, that
was the soundtrack.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That was the
So I
soundtrack.
guess we are live, so we're going to turn it down a bit.
Come on in. Come on in.
I'm gonna swing this over that way.
You didn't look that way earlier.
You know, it's like you
He went
never
to
saw
wardrobe.
Wonder Woman.
Transformed.
Wonder Woman went like this,
Awesome.
and then it happens.
I like yours better though.
I know, isn't it so much nicer?
Yeah, because it would look pretty weird
Done
in
by
those little
Jen
shorts.
Martini
Yeah.
over at.
Wait, can I see that for a second? I'm just curious. I'm just trying to get in the mood here.
I was told to bear my cross and follow. So, oh no,
That's an axe right there. That's an axe.
But it
Show
is
out
quite a
slash.
jab. Yeah, so
Nice.
shameless plug for Awesome Customs here, just being quirky whenever we can. So
Awesome Customs, Angel over here is the maker of my pretty amazing wine rack over here that you guys, well, if I can lift it. Yeah, thank you.
Watch the cigars.
Here, I'll hold those.
That's empty, so don't get excited with my Cuban cigars over there. This really awesome custom wine rack that Angel made for me.
With these hands.
With those hands. Pretty stinking cool, if you ask me.
Yep.
And live show prop here for our wine that we drink on the show.
I got
And
requested to come back, so we came back.
Sure. Which
Absolutely.
I forgot to mention, like the star of the show. This is really how much I love these guys on the show. Because this is, to date, hands down, one of my all-time, I mean, arguably, number one, number two, it's a toss-up. I'd really have to put them back to
You've
back.
been drinking quite a bit of wine lately, too.
I have. All-time favorite red. It's a Malbec from Argentina, Mendoza, land of the Malbec, king of the Malbecs, and it is freaking phenomenal. Miravas, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll put it in there. Miravas, absolutely delicious. So
Wow.
this is my last bottle that I had in stock at the house. So that's how much I like these people who are on my show.
You gotta be
Because-
colorful. We gotta be colorful.
Let me tell you, I was really skeptical about bringing this bottle. I was like, well, I could have opened the other bottle, which I didn't like that much. Is let them have that one. But-
Thanks,
Are
Joe.
we gonna do a cheers?
So we
Thank you,
are
Joe.
we are going to do a cheers. Salute.
So what's up?
Salute to
Awesome.
a good show. To a good show.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
What season are we in now?
This is the 10th show. The 10th show. 10 shows.
What's the season, like 12 to 13?
At least.
Nowadays,
Healthy
I think they
cool.
We're going to have to go on a summer break.
Yeah,
Maybe.
our
I don't know.
season is going to be 52.
We'll do like Survivor and we'll have like 2 seasons a year and just go for 25 years.
There you go.
Beautiful.
I'm going to be doing this a while. I anticipate so.
Oh, it's
All right,
a lot of
so
fun being part
that's
of
the
group.
that's the star of the show right now is the Mirava. We are all second fiddle to my star
Grape
guest
juice.
there.
Speak for yourself.
So,
Come on.
So if anybody could hold the candle to the wine there, it's this one. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Stasi. I am a cosplay model, a cosplayer. I go to a bunch of nerdy conventions.
Nerdy.
I'm also a realtor, so I do Texas real estate, and I couldn't be happier. So if you need anything real estate related, hit me up. If you want to just know about nerdy things, let me know. And I also throw a yearly cosplay
of the
dance
nerd.
party. So come to that and like me and stuff on Facebook. I'll
Yes.
talk to you too. Cool.
Anastasia Pena on Facebook.
Yes, I'm Anastasia Pena.
Yes. If you just search for Stasi, you might not find her. So, my daughter was giving mad thumbs up in the background over there, running the camera because she likes the cosplay thing.
Yes,
so.
it's a fun
Yes.
fun to dress up and pretend that you're not who you really are.
Yes.
And I'm wearing my outfit as we
There
speak.
you go. I should have come in cosplay.
It's about the true colors.
I'll have to have one of those shows. The cosplay Wine to Wine show.
Yes.
We
So
need to do-
arguing
we need to do
costume.
that.
We're
That-
arguing
Halloween
costume.
edition. Halloween edition.
There
Get
we
ready,
go.
guys.
We could
good
actually we
idea.
could throw out all the subjects that we thought we might want to talk about and just talk about cosplay.
Oh my gosh. That would be great.
And
but
she
not
would need to
She-
take my
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
one
yeah.
of
You can
yours.
take
You
my
guys
seat.
Yeah,
are
I'll
wearing
just invite my daughter on and they can talk and we'll
Yeah.
sit around and drink wine.
Yes.
You
Plenty
guys aren't
interesting.
wearing costume. Or are you in your mild-mannered reporter outfit?
Yes.
Oh, you are.
Yes,
Superhero outfit
Yes.
is underneath.
Tell us
My-
about Cindy. I'm just kidding.
Yes. Yes.
That
All
got
right,
started
so-
earlier, apparently.
All right, so I forgot to
Introduce.
share the show. So
Oh,
go ahead, Ken.
I'm Ken Snyder. I actually did not plan to be on the show this week, so I don't really have
Ooh,
any
you want
planned
the wine.
shameless plugs. I guess except tomorrow there's a wine tasting event at Zoom Barrel Tavern.
Oh, yes.
Between 6 and 9 p.m. that several of us are going to, and if any of my friends are out there
North
and,
side.
and would like to go to that, it's Zoom Barrel Tavern. There's an event for it on Facebook. If you hit me up on Facebook, or really any of us, we can shoot you the invite. My Facebook handle is facebook.com/TheTexasRealtors, and you can find me there and message me if you'd like to.
Absolutely. So, wow.
I think there
Now,
is
see,
a
here's the crazy thing about the crazy thing about using the phone today is that the video quality is fantastic. So,
Can people
It
hear
sure
us?
is, huh?
when you
Yes.
ask-
So, yeah.
People say they can hear us okay?
Esther, can you
I
hear us?
almost- I
Yeah.
almost look like I'm glowing for some reason.
So we've already had.
Is Pipkin out there? David out there can tell us whether he can hear us or not?
Oh yeah, so everybody's hearing us. Yeah,
Esther will chime in here in a minute.
we have Bobby Beasley asking how he missed out on the cosplay show.
I'm gonna-
I will send you
Come out.
an invite. I will send you all of that. So come.
Sandra
come
said
get
it
me.
sounds great.
It's a fun time. I have 80s music, 90s music. I make my own stuff. It's great.
Yeah, she does. She has a lot of fun with it, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, so
Van Halen and
Yeah.
White Snake.
Bobby Beasley is the guy who's normally running the camera for me. When he can't be here, he's in San Antonio. My daughter fills in for me, or for him, I should say. So, and Esther said, "I can hear you, not to worry." So we got
Oh
it.
boy, the pressure's
Rest
off
at
now.
ease.
Thank goodness. Thank
Rest
goodness.
at ease. You don't have to project.
So,
Oh, I naturally do that.
guy, yeah, you can move that tree, sure.
Oh, I see you moved the ficus
Feels
Yes.
over there instead of it
Yes.
tickling, the side of your face.
Well, I was this one's more vertical. It had more height than width. So
So we can move that leaf over top of your head and
Just
you'd
about
have
as
like a
shiny,
hat.
aren't we?
And I added this thing. See,
I was wondering what
so it's a
was.
splash
that
of color.
just got
Well,
little
that
bumps
scares
in.
We
Your
had-
decorative skills are amazing.
They're on fleek, right?
On fleek, I would say. Liddy,
my,
A1.
my daughter, the look on my daughter's face when I said that was just like disgust.
Disgust.
yeah.
Regret.
Yes. We had a big empty space there that I needed to bring some color into. So there we go.
I feel great.
Well,
I'm
we got
always
Angel
trying to
right
pump it
now.
up.
He's very colorful today.
Yes, I could have just had him stand in this section right here.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Zebra.
All right, so what are we talking about today? Guys y'all are tuning in, be sure to share the show. We're on a mission here with the show, and we have a lot of fun and we're really silly. But America
I'm not.
America needs to learn to disagree civilly. We can talk about stuff as friends and get along. It's amazing. I mean, like the advent of the internet. And you know what? This may be worth the topic of conversation. Like twice in just the last 2 days, I was attempting to enter into a conversation, and I like go back and read it, and I'm like, what the hell did I say to cause this person just to go from
Flip
0 to
over.
100?
Flip over.
Yeah. I'm like,
Something they didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Emotions.
I go back and read it. And I'm like, it was a very just objective. There was no insults or any provocative terms, and I'm just like simple stuff. And yet the person freaks out. Like, what is going on in America that we just can't talk? It's just amazing to me. So that's the point of the show. So you guys, we have all like 4 of y'all tuning in right now.
Nice. Come on,
Share
familia.
the
Aquellos
show.
de allá de Guadalajara, México, por favor, denme sus likes también.
Exactly.
What he said.
Contigo.
Contigo también.
So share the show. Share the show.
Up over in Iran, yak dose choho banshish hafash no da.
Oh wow, that sounded.
That was authentic.
What was that?
If I'd say, then the secret would be out. The Illuminati would come in, take me away.
Wait. Cortes de baño.
Corte de baño. Oh, yeah?
Llámame, Jose.
That's about it. Dos más cervezas.
That one too. That
You know,
one.
I gotta follow up with that
Those are
next
very
round.
common.
Uno más cerveza.
Mr. Moderator.
Yes. I'm going down this rabbit trail too. So, where does this go?
Did you bring the peyote?
Hold up.
That was
I
good
got it.
stuff.
All right, so we're going to talk about something for sure,
The
right?
color is magnificent. I wish somebody would be doing an airbrush kind of.
Right. We do have a pretty good picture working now. I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah, if I must say so myself.
I think we're all dressed pretty nicely. And
We have got some bright colors
Colors
going. Yeah.
in
so-
light of Pride.
Well, us 3 have us
Vibrant.
in color. These guys are kind of monochromatic.
We're
I didn't-
we're Earth.
They're the
Turn.
towers on the
If I had
chest.
known I was going to be on the show,
You
I
might have
would
been
have worn
colorful.
a T-shirt that I could have stripped
That
down.
would have been
to.
Hawaiian.
Again.
Hot.
I did
Hot.
that the first show.
Nice.
So, Facebook, be sure to comment, be sure to jump in on the conversation. If there's something going on that's on your mind and you think we need to be talking about it on the show, be sure to chime in right here on the feed as I
Can
will
I
be
start off with a
monitoring.
little topic to begin with?
Go, sure.
How we are just too busy to pay any attention to those that are hurting around us.
Wow, that's pretty heavy.
That's deep.
Because we are way too busy, I think, in our schedule with however many assignments we've given ourselves.
Well, there's a subject we didn't talk about at all because the show is never planned for you.
I'm just
those
driving
who are
in
tuning
from Stafford. Way on the other side.
But you know what? I mean, that's absolutely the case. We can go back maybe to last week in this with the whole gal that was convicted for involuntary manslaughter in the guy's suicide. Do y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
The girlfriend.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever the heck she was, because there was like even debate on that one. It's like, was she even really his girlfriend? They didn't even see each other in a year, but they still texted each other.
These days,
Yeah, right. I mean, so, but I mean,
his catfish girlfriend.
it's catfish girl.
That's worth another topic. That's worth another topic. Okay.
Wow.
That
Wow.
is.
Okay, bring it back in.
So
So I mean, like here's like all his family. We're like, well, we thought he was getting better and everything. He's been fighting this forever, but he has this crazy person in his life who's feeding like some pretty insane negativity.
Yeah.
I mean, like
and that's
calling him out, like
grow up in.
hey, why you quitter?
Yep, that's
like
what
you're
they grow up in. I think,
wow.
We talked about this a few weeks ago that if we treated regular illnesses and injuries the way we treat mental illness, if somebody was laying on a bed with their arm bleeding and coming out, you'd say, "You're not even trying, get up." But people with that's the way a person with mental illness is treated. Somebody who's down in the dumps or who's possibly suicidal or just there's something wrong with you and you need to get over it and you need to fix it instead of treating it and helping it. It's if somebody had a broken leg, you wouldn't say that to them, right?
Yeah.
Well, somebody who's mentally ill, you don't say that to them either.
right.
And I think a part of it, and I could be wrong about this, but I've had 4 people. I'm sure the statistics for me are like through the roof. I've had 4 people in my life commit suicide.
Wow.
Right. So I've experienced that on a very
Yeah,
close and personal level.
That is fun.
and people that were very close to me, right? And you go through these waves, anger and all this kind of stuff. Like you thought so little of our friendship and our relationship that you didn't reach out, that you
You
never
didn't even consider me
Right.
a good friend enough to just
Right.
console you in a moment.
I went through all of that. I think that there's a great degree of helplessness when you have somebody who's dealing with mental issues to where I don't know what to say to them. I don't know what to do to fix this.
Or on the other side of things, maybe you do have someone like that in your life, but they kind of drain you all the time emotionally, and it's always you having to pick them up, even when you yourself are drained. That's kind of
Where
tough
would
to
we
deal
think?
with.
That's a brutally honest thing for sure,
What
man.
would we think initiated that? I mean, from the time they were growing up, from the time they realized that life was going to be hard after those moments of just being outside of their mother and father protection, and then now them having to make their own choices.
It could be that.
From then.
For me, my trigger was when my mother died, and I was with her when she died.
Well, about what age were you?
It was March 1st, 2011. So I'm not going to back into my age, but
No,
that's the date.
Maybe after another glass.
So let's see, that was...
We'll pry him open.
So how old were you,
That
Ken?
was 6 years ago, so I was 30 at the time.
You were about 30.
And-
Wow. So
Yeah.
definitely.
What happened?
You bought that?
No, I'm saying is that it's got to be an impactful moment when you lose your mother, no matter what age. But when we're children, there's a sense of not knowing what all took that, took the consequence of her not being there anymore. You didn't have that capability of understanding it now as an adult. So obviously we're
in most instances where Joe, you mentioned that you had 4 people in your life that had taken their lives. Was it a surprise to you that they did that? Did you have any reason to know that they were on such a downhill spiral, or had not so much downhill or spiral, but they had resided themselves the fact that one day they may wake up and take their own lives? Did you have any inclination that that was going to happen?
One completely not. One completely yes. Right? Which is the interesting, drain on me thing.
Yeah,
right?
it happens.
I can talk about
Absolutely.
that. Because this is the person that just absolutely went off the deep end.
Right.
And they literally drank themselves to death. I mean, they quit eating.
Yeah.
Their entire consumption was alcohol until they just had a massive...
I have to come at it from a standpoint of I had a friend of mine who I'd known since probably the turn of the century that I saw signs that he was not feeling good about some things. There are always tattletales. There are always little telltales that will tell somebody close enough to him, say, hey, something's a little bit wrong.
Going on here.
You should start paying a little bit more attention to it, even though it may be draining.
You think there always are?
I think there always
Well,
are.
I definitely think
indications
clinically
like
there
that.
always
One
are.
is
but
But the
aware of-
psychologist will tell you that there's always a
Right.
little sign.
I wasn't arguing.
and-
I just
I
No,
will...
your absolute statement.
But I
so you
think
had a question.
as close as we
I will,
could be as
but
friends.
in response to that, though, I will say, are there always signs? Absolutely. Are we all skilled
skilled.
to
Always
pick
aware.
up
That's
those
the key.
signs?
Yeah.
That's the key.
And again,
Very
throwing
good
it back to
You need to understand
life
the
being
language.
so busy and us just not taking the time to pay attention. What you were saying. So that's,
Yeah.
Which-
That's a good
Science,
circle.
yeah,
we have a
might
lot
go
of
there.
distractions in our lives, and where we think that we're doing good, somebody close
Just
enough
being
to us that we may
consumed.
work
Right.
with, we may live with, we may know through other associations, we may not see that. And you know what?
We're
It's
all
not a
living on
burden
such a
on us.
fundraiser's edge.
It sounds so crass, but I was totally shocked when my friend just did it, and we were all floored by that. I didn't think that he was that far gone,
Yeah.
I guess you might say, but it was hurtful. It hurts more people than you can ever imagine.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
then it also gives you a niche because then you realize, could I have done anything about it? Was there
Oh,
ever
yeah.
a moment? So
You'll
then,
have some
Then you
guilt.
got to sleep with that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's reality.
And that's where you need to come in and say, hey, look, you need to do the ultimate gut check and say, hey, am I okay?
I've
Do I
stepped
need to
into
talk to somebody?
situations
Says,
where
most of the people
It's
that
that
are down
honest.
that path, leading down that way, they are either consciously or subconsciously giving you a signal to say, hey, I need to talk about something. It may be just ramble on. It may drain you,
right.
but they need to talk. And that's better than anything I could imagine if you just listen.
Well,
That's
you know,
the key.
I'll give you one in one of those scenarios for me. The friend that just went off the deep end, right? It got to a point where I was trying to talk to him for a while, right? But he got to a state of just constant off the deep end drunk.
Right, where he wasn't even
Right, I couldn't.
aware. You couldn't
I
approach
couldn't
him.
really
You couldn't
even have a
interfere.
conversation with him. He's,
Right.
He
he's
was on a
calling me
mission.
talking
That's
about.
terrible.
Yeah.
He's
I'm sorry to make light of it.
he's calling me. He's calling me and talking about how
Never do
his
that.
job is like Mike in his house and
Wow.
spying on him and just crazy. Now
What age was he when
he's in his 30s.
he was in his 30s?
Late
What a
30s.
young- oh my
Late
goodness.
30s.
Still
Did he have any
young, right?
hobbies?
I'm
Yeah.
going approaching
Yeah.
50, so I'll say
But-
yeah, he was definitely young.
But there,
Welcome to the club.
the afterthought for me in this guy's life was just drive over to his house, beat him down because he's drunk,
right before you-
grab all the alcohol of his house and go pour it out, and sit on him until he sobers up.
But you
that-
were not a black belt then. May I?
But yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
Me
mean-
what?
What
were you doing?
You want some
over
more?
there?
What's
Oh, it's over here
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this side.
yeah. I got some more here.
So
Had a
how,
couple
how many
months.
years?
Four.
So what I was going to say was though, I mean
How many years are
that was my hindsight's 2020
I'm under the
thing.
bus, huh?
Like
Mhm.
I didn't in my mind think that I'm like he just went nuts. He's not going to kill himself or he's not going to drink himself to death. But after the fact, I'm like, man, I should have, I could have done.
The one thing
So-
that we should really discuss and come up with as far as a solution, if you ever feel like you are overwhelmed by someone who appears to be vulnerable to taking their own life, don't wait. Make a call to somebody that can help you, or you can get them to help them. It may be out of your league. There may be some issues that need to be taken care of. And it's not like you're snitching on somebody. You're trying to save their life.
And
You
if
And if
feel
you're a good
something-
friend, then that's what you need to be doing.
and
And if
if
you-
they hate you for the rest of your life, well,
And-
they're alive.
No, and then,
you-
outside
go
of
ahead.
that, if you don't have a friend that you can confide with, or that you feel you have that relationship with, you can drop to your knees and say, "Dear God, I've got nothing. I've got nothing
Mhm.
but just to seek in you your grace." Because even at our breaking point, Christ will meet us. And that is something I hold true and evident in my life. So, glory to God.
There's a friend of mine that we just had a good conversation about this. I won't mention her name because I'm not sure if she wants me to or not. But if you're out there watching, please message the name of the book that you were telling me about. This was a book that was similar to The Christmas Carol, except it was somebody who was considering committing suicide. And so the ghost of Christmas, or the ghost of
That
deep,
event.
deep depression future,
Yeah.
took them ahead and showed the effects that it would have on other people's lives.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
and I've been
Yeah,
there.
the
you are
consequence.
only thinking about the pain that you're experiencing, and you think that your world is ending over certain things, and you have to stop and you have to think about the other people that are going to be affected.
Yeah.
And in relation to what Steve was saying, the thing that helped me was people said, come out with me.
Right.
Come see me. Come be with me. Because I was alone in bed. And just offering
Yeah.
to come out and be with it helped me so much. I had 5 people. And that is another thing that, if you're in that situation, you need to find 5 people
Yeah.
that before you're going to do whatever it is that you think you're going to do,
Just
that
let
you
them
can
know.
call before you make that decision.
Yeah.
If you find those 5 people,
Then-
I'm no expert,
then there is
but
no-
what I've read and experienced is you won't get there. And I'm very grateful for the 5 people that helped me.
Amen.
I didn't know this was coming up. but-
Amen.
Yeah.
It's I'm way past it now, but yeah, it was rough.
And you know what? We get very transparent, very real on this show.
We can,
and-
after a few more.
Right.
we'll
We
probably
cried
be,
2 weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah,
Sure,
no,
no,
this
Boy
is my
Scouts
show.
home
like babies.
So-
It's the
so
truth
listen.
serum.
How many canaries did you kill when you were growing up? I thought I saw a putty cat.
If anybody who looks at my life and everybody that knows me and all this sort of thing,
Beautiful
in 99.9% of the scenarios that I interact with people, I'm going to consistently be a certain personality. I'm always in a good mood. I'm always smiling, and that's my nature.
You know, I can ask your daughter right about now.
Yeah.
Right?
But how come you're not that way on the show?
and
Salt.
because that's normally where I'm at.
Yes. That's
But
not what
I
this
can-
show is for, though.
I can tell you that life, first of all, life doesn't give a crap.
Nope. Kick your ass all over the
Right?
place.
The life will
And
just
then
beat
back.
the hell out of you and then say, "Oh, you had enough? No, here's some more." Right?
Mr. Entitlement.
And I can tell you that there are things like, you know, I as a husband and as a dad, right? I wanted for my wife to be able to be home full time and to take care of the kids and be involved in their life because that's what she wanted, and I wanted that for her, right?
Yeah.
And so the last 2 years of my life financially was a really tough period, right? And to make matters worse, then adding on to that, I'm like, there's a part of me that I'm going, I know what it takes to be successful. I've been successful. I've made a healthy 6-figure income. Never made 7 yet. I'm working getting there.
That's what we're
Planning on
hoping
it.
to do.
Right? Drink some more wine. I plan on being there, but I've made a healthy income in my life, and I know the steps that it takes to be successful. And I went through the last 2 years of my life doing all those things, and being, you know,
Always on the forefront.
always on the relentless side. I don't know how not to keep going,
That's
and
right. We will
yet,
not train them.
yet, not succeeding. And all those voices in your head of saying, you know, this isn't working. You're not working. Maybe it's you. And all those,
Oh, yeah.
all that
Self-doubt.
Just
that's-
falls on your
exactly.
shoulder. And it's like,
and then finances and all, you know, the pressures of money and the bills and all that kind of stuff. And let me tell you, it got me to a dark, dark place.
Yep.
Right?
That happened in 2008.
Right? This was just the end of this last year for me, so it
Yeah.
wasn't that long
Mine
ago.
happened in 2008.
And as
Terrifying.
positive as my mental state is, always, I got to a point where I had those thoughts,
Absolutely.
and I would never
We
do
all
it.
have them. We all have them.
One of the reasons is sitting in the room.
Exactly.
I would never do it,
That's right.
but it didn't keep those thoughts from being there.
You know what? That's
And-
exactly that's the reason I had my 3 at home as well, and I said, "Thank you, Lord."
And I want to
wasn't
come
bad.
back to that statement right there. I said that one of the reasons was in the room. So let me dial this in for anybody who's ever been in that place. The fix mentally, right? This is actually a biblical thing, believe it or not. There's a biblical solution
If it
to
works.
the mental state of depression. Is to dwell on that which you have to be grateful for.
Yes.
Right? And so one of your things was 5 people,
Yes.
right? Well, whether you consciously are going, I'm going to be grateful for 5 people, that doesn't have to be the thought process. But when you have people interacting in your life, the subconscious process is, I have friends, which is consequently something to be grateful
Something to
for,
be
right?
willing
And
to
they
do.
want to be with me, and they want to spend time with me. Things to be grateful for. So even if you don't know you're doing it, subconsciously, it works.
Didn't they make
right?
a movie about someone who they showed him a life?
It's
or
a
he
Wonderful
lived
Life.
Was it something like that?
Yeah, it was
You
the
know
Jimmy
trivia.
Stewart.
You
Yeah.
gotta have a trivia one day, a movie trivia day.
That's a
Oh
good
man, we
Christmas
just
time movie.
rocked it.
So-
1976,
Oh, man.
1977, Caddyshack, and the whole bit.
Yeah. Groundhog Day.
Groundhog
Ken,
Day.
just to chime in here, Kat said, how did Kenda get to be a regular on the show?
Somebody bailed at the last minute. Kat,
Yes,
so-
Kat,
Last minute.
Kat, you are always welcome to come hang out at the studio.
Are you jealous?
And if somebody doesn't show up, guess what happens? You get to be on. That's what happened to poor Ken. He totally wasn't anticipating being on the show. We had another guest who was sick. They had to cancel last minute.
Wow.
He was here, so now he's on the show. That's how it
happened-
works.
I happen to have shaved and not worn a grungy
I
t-shirt.
shaved in
so-
their bathroom out of
And then she says, are you guys talking about mindset or entitlement? We can kind of segue to that point. We can kind of segue to that. Mindset. Because the mindset is, attitude of gratitude determines your latitude, right? That's a great little phrase.
Attitude of gratitude.
Having an attitude of gratitude determines your latitude, right? How high you go. I absolutely believe that. Mindset is absolutely everything. And so I got to a point, right? I went
No, I'm good.
to a point where, as dark a place as you can get. Darkest is the places I've been ever in my life. In the last 6 months. Did anybody in my outside world see that?
Doubt it.
Very, 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 very few.
We play
Right.
well.
Right. Which, welcome to the world of Facebook.
Oh
Right?
yeah, for sure.
We're walking around constantly at the height of life. Everything is absolutely wonderful.
Check
Great.
out my lunch.
Right? Yeah. And not being real. So there's some onus back on us to be real with people. Like you said, if you have those 5 people, if you don't have those 5 people, find those 5 people to get out and be with we have to connect. We have to, we're
Beyond
social
Facebook.
beings. Beyond
Or
Facebook.
social media.
I
Absolutely. Beyond
jokingly
social
made
media.
a comment about the likes, right? How hard it is to get likes.
Yeah.
Because it's like now everybody scrolls through it, and if they view it, they don't even have time to click the like button anymore because they're just.
Right. Cat
Do you have?
and David, Kat and David, be sure to share the show, by the way, so we can get this out to more audience. David
Share.
just chimed
We need
in.
other guests. We don't want to keep seeing those same faces over here.
David
We need-
chimed in and he said, David here, hello everyone. He said, in my lowest times, he's going to
Hi
share
there.
something personal here. He said, in my lowest time when those thoughts were attacking my brain, I have long
People
been
are
struck
opening up.
with a conviction that there is no clear sign I could give to God that I have given up on Him
We
and
need
turned
him.
my back on Him than to take my own life. That has kept me from entertaining those thoughts any further than what they were. Attacks from Satan. Just my 2 cents. Kat says, thanks for being vulnerable, Joe. Thanks, Kat.
We're all vulnerable.
that's what this-
vulnerable.
Hey,
That's
I'm
what
the
the
one
show's
that
about.
cried.
He
I'm
might
the
be
one that
bulletproof,
cried.
but he's still vulnerable.
You held it together rather well.
So
Yeah.
sad that we are all worried
Composure.
about being liked, no doubt.
No,
already
I'll
done.
Experience.
Years
So
of
many
training.
incidents.
Hey,
Yes,
thanks for opening up.
exactly.
So
I was
look,
gonna-
so kind of what I was saying was
Disappointment.
to wrap up the point on that, and maybe we can jump into, kind of go
Broaden it.
another area here, because this is kind of a depressing subject.
Yeah, let's.
Right?
Depressed.
No,
Airplanes
yeah,
in
it's
Arizona.
real.
People are
That is
real.
your thing.
living it with.
On
We're
one
so
hand,
obsessed.
I will say
Bring me a knife.
we have a job as human beings not to have a Facebook level of interaction with all of our friends, right? And that takes
We need to be
effort.
real.
It takes effort. It takes being engaged. It takes asking questions and engaging our friends beyond the Facebook level,
And
right?
not thinking with our feelings.
And then on the other side, there's onus on us as individuals. In fact, psychologically, when we're in that place of darkness, what typically happens, what our mental construct is to pull away from those around us and to isolate ourselves. That's our normal psyche. It's the opposite that is healing. So we have a responsibility to actually reach out and to be involved and to reach out to others. It's the simplest cure. I mean, I'm telling you, if you want to get out of depression, get out of the home and go serve your community. That's the quickest cure for depression,
Or go have fun.
right? Yeah, I mean, like,
Go to the beach.
Go be with people, right? Go be with people. But specifically, I'm telling you, if you want to get out of depression like that, go volunteer. You name the place.
Or take Lexapro.
You can get in a food line somewhere.
You
Take
went
that
really
while
low,
volunteering.
and then you came back. And
Get in a
Combined
food
effort
line.
Yes.
will help you.
They're good point.
I said we
So,
start.
all right.
I said we make a song with.
Right. Kat said, "Amen. I am on a mission to reconnect with as many of my friends as I can, even if it is just to say hi and to be present to the conversation."
You can start
That
by
is
liking
exactly
the
right.
page and sharing us. That's very helpful.
Boy, she got the marketing thing down.
Yes.
This is what I do for a living, okay?
The contemporary side of all of this, as far as being an additional bookend to the conversation, is most people in the service industry, as far as emergency services and service to the country, veterans and firefighters and police officers, those people that interact with some of the most horrible situations that anyone can possibly encounter or experience, they are stressed out to the point where they start getting depressed. The most valuable thing that I've seen in the most contemporary sense is what we call P2P interaction, person to person. If I saw that Kim was going through a problem, I'm going to actively engage him. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. This is what they do with a lot of veterans. They don't sit in front of a PhD and whine and cry and beat drums and go out in the woods and whatever that causes. Yeah, it's talking to people who have been there and done that. I've done the firefighting thing. I've seen some of the most horrible things out there that I don't even talk about. But it's not good to bottle that stuff up. But the only people that I feel like, yeah, that's perfect tone. Anyway,
Was that you?
Yes.
yeah, that was him. He did that on purpose. Gosh,
The aliens taught him how to do that.
But you
There
know,
was microphone feedback.
for instance, Chris
I
Kyle,
wasn't watching.
Oh yeah.
our
American Sniper.
yeah. Well, I knew him personally, and
Pretty amazing guy.
he would always take a backup, a wingman, someone who was not having problems. Sometimes we would go shoot when we weren't having problems. We just give each other problems, but it was just a professional thing.
Right.
Professionally giving each other
I
problems.
once accused him he couldn't hit the ground if he
I
fell.
brought my
Problem
nerdy
giver.
glasses. I
But
can understand all this.
he was a good guy, and he took it on a mission to go around Texas and sometimes in the southern states to basically engage guys and gals that were having problems. And sometimes you didn't even talk about the problem. Just
No,
get
spend
together
some time.
and
Yeah,
spending
spend some time
time with
together.
them and just shoot the breeze and doing things that you normally would
Doing
do.
guy
And
stuff.
that thing, which brings down blood pressure, it brings
Yeah.
down anxiety, all these other things. And
you
and
got killed
sometimes it
doing
worked, sometimes it didn't. But see, that's similar to us. You don't always have to go to somebody who hangs a shingle saying that, well, I'm a psychologist and I can help you with your problems. I'm Fraser Crane and I'm here to listen.
Ha.
That kind of thing.
I've read
That's a
all the
blast
books
from the
about
So
it.
Yeah.
it's just we
Who's
we
Fraser
are our
Don't
own.
Don't even try that.
I'm
You're
too
old
young
enough.
to know.
You're old enough. Shut up.
We are our own best
I watched it like when it
counselors.
originally came out.
Oh,
So
that's the original
that's
show.
the value in that, because if you see somebody wanting to get help, somebody that withdraws,
Yeah, the guy who was
they don't talk to you for a
boyfriend
while.
to
You
the
think
show.
nobody's
Right.
going to notice.
I didn't know
Right.
what
That's
they were
not
referring
true
to.
at all.
Mhm.
Where people who really care and love you are going to find you. They are going to go out of their way. And there's no set time, there's no set reason, there's no set thing that you're going to talk about. It's like might simply just go over there and knock on the door and say, "Hey, what's going on?" All right, hey, you look like crap. Get yourself together, let's go out, have a beer, let's do something.
We're going
You know,
shopping, loser.
We're going there you go. See, this is perfect for her generation. It's like, she runs across people that have
Did she
legitimate
snort?
problems.
Did I hear a snort?
I heard a snort, but that's okay. I'll overlook that.
Please.
But it's
I was going to
important.
blame
That's
it on
actually
him.
contagious.
But
I didn't used to snort, and then I was around.
Yeah.
Snort.
But I just
It's all right.
feel like
So-
there's always help out there.
So, that's
Let's all love one another.
yeah, right.
Let's
So,
talk
Michael
about police.
Jackson, Diana
Let's talk about a
Ross.
more positive subject. Can we talk about police shootings?
We are the world.
yeah, so I was just gonna
Yes.
say.
Because I love police brutality.
On a positive note, how about
yeah.
those police killings?
Am I
Yes.
going to have to shred my clothes like
It's
it
not
says in
funny.
the Old Testament?
I think it's funny. It happens.
It's terribly inappropriate.
It's funny when you say it on a lighter note.
It's
but
like-
Yeah.
Is this
not
where we
funny.
get unfriended?
Yes,
Or
that was
offended.
like that. Offended.
Unfriended.
Oh, we're
like,
all right.
like
I
I
have
just,
too
we
many
just lost
friends.
10 people right there.
Because we had a good discussion about that earlier.
Yes. Oh, we had such a big discussion.
Not
about it.
live.
Yes. For those of you watching, we get together ahead of the show and start drinking early.
Yes.
Water.
Water. Yeah, water.
It turns
water.
into wine, though. I
Yeah.
And
Pretty
somehow it just
think.
is.
Some just I don't know.
And we start having great discussion. Anyway, so we have a couple fly through points, right?
Fly through point.
We're flying through these because I said I was going to say something about it on the show, so I'm a man of my word, so I'm going to mention it. I'm sorry, attorneys, if you're happening to tune in to the show, right?
Some of my best friends.
Right?
I've done many a kitchen
And my
for
daughter.
them. And, they
And your daughter. Okay. In view of
Can you generalize?
Very-
No, go for it. Go for it.
in view of very recent information, I'll refrain from a few of the comments I'd already planned.
No, that's the purpose.
Insert
I'm
politically
kidding.
correct kind
Yes.
of.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
intermission.
kidding. I was going to say, we have a lawsuit. I read the headlines.
Oh, man.
Some of you may have seen my post last night.
Another woman spilled her hot coffee on her.
McGuire Law. Yeah, the equivalent, right?
It's their small hands. They just have naturally small hands.
it's
Are
just
we talking about
Like,
Donald Trump?
exactly.
Oh.
The coffee just spills.
so Home Depot and some place called Menards, which I'm not familiar with, are being sued in a class action lawsuit for $5 million because their 4x4s aren't really 4x4.
The atrocity! I've built so many kitchens.
What?
And how is that even?
See, my off-air daughter
The audience finally chimed in.
she couldn't even hold
Come
back
sit down and
her.
talk about it. Come sit down.
Yeah,
and talk
yeah,
Four
about
by
it.
four
yeah.
is not 4x4.
I
How
know
is-
that.
She was
Is
being
the
facetious.
universe
She was being
beginning to
facetious.
spin backwards now? Is this where the
Right.
whole thing just collapses?
Because my daughter's smart enough to know that 4x4s aren't 4x4.
Right.
The whole freaking world is smart enough to know that 4x4s aren't 4x4. Anybody who's ever built anything in their life ever once knows that a 4x4
Whether
is a
you
4x4.
use Lego blocks or little cabin logs.
Because
So are we saying that we
Lincoln
hope
logs.
that the judge who does get this case, they just
has
go,
built something.
They just
Ever.
go, they just go
Once in his life. So he goes,
knows
Bam,
knows
case
what a
dismissed.
ruler is
So-
outside
so
of
the
his
judge-
hand span.
the judge picks up the paperwork and he goes,
Nah.
5 million?
"Are you serious?"
We need a gavel.
And then he goes, "Get the hell out of here!" Poof, and like,
Yeah.
leaves. And if you make a comment, you're fined. Just get out.
Yeah.
Right?
So I didn't read a lot about this story. Was there a consumer that initially complained, and or was
Yes.
there a building that
Apparently
there was a problem
built
with? How did
some
this
in Dallas.
initiate?
They were
There was
biased.
a single consumer that complained about it, and from there it escalated into the lawsuit. Then these attorneys then filed a class
But
action
the consumer
lawsuit.
that complained, did something happen? Did a structure they built?
They're one of the
have a
refugees that
problem,
came
or
over,
did they
wasn't
just
they?
like what led the consumer to complain that something happened?
The news story didn't give enough background on what led the consumer to file the complaint.
Because I mean, if
Right.
it was legitimate, something happened because of this.
Well, let me put it this way. I'll give you an.
Them
You
being
don't
a
go
When
dumbass.
has the media
Other
ever
than
gotten
dumbass,
anything
yeah.
right?
Well,
not even
one of
the
my-
ones that are
we
trying.
disagree on that one.
One of my
Depends on
friends-
what media you're reading.
Not in this story. Good gosh.
Yeah, one of my friends chimed in and he said, my 1890s building that we're remodeling actually had 2x4s that were 2x4.
Yeah, that was old.
And he
Those
said-
are cherished
And he said, so it is a
pieces,
pain in the butt that 2x4s aren't a 2x4. I said, it sounds like you're emotionally distraught. I'd recommend contacting McGuire Law.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have a really heavy
you're
piece of art that you're trying to
referring.
hang, you need
You're
that
definitely great at marketing, man.
inches.
Yeah. So Robert Jeter said in shop class
Need
they
those
teach
extra
us
inches.
why it's
Don't
not.
we all?
So
Here goes the rules.
Now, hey,
This
listen
is
to
the whole
what Robert
background.
says. Robert
This is
knows
the
what he's
background.
talking about.
yes,
Here's
shop
the
class.
background.
Robert was in shop class and he knows. Robert Jeter III says in shop class they teach us why it's not exact dimensions. I can't remember why. Oh come on,
For some
Robert!
reason,
No.
but for
Man, I
some
thought you had
reason,
it.
he didn't sue Home
Because
Depot.
size doesn't
I
matter.
remember why, Robert.
It
I'll
does.
tell you. I'll tell you. He says, I can't remember why, but it has
Marble.
something to do with planning and processing of the wood.
Size matters.
David chimed in and
Slogan.
said, how easy someone's life must be to be so concerned about Home Depot selling properly sized 4x4s. Yeah, how easy. Yes, how
That's
easy.
almost like complaining to Oscar Mayer for
So,
why is in this.
Can
not
you
ready?
Robert.
imagine if they cut the wood to actual 4x4?
So do you know the
I
explanation?
do know the
Let's-
explanation.
That
okay.
would throw everything
Give him
off.
a tape measure.
Joe's-
the explanation.
Joe's
This is
geek
the
building
definition.
moments. I was in shop too, by the way, Robert. But
See, another
the
nerd.
size of the
Carpentry nerd.
wood is the wet measurement of the wood, right? So as they cut the wood is 4x4. It then goes into kilns, and the kilns dry them, and the size will shrink from there. That size may differ in small amounts, which is why they don't have a measurement post-drying, because it may be different sizes. This is a government recognized thing, and they have
they purchase lumber.
standard recognized measurements for all the wood. So how these goofballs are suing over that, I have no freaking idea. But they're probably going to get millions.
Absolutely.
They're probably going to get
The
millions.
law firm is
Just-
going to make
just-
money off of this. The plaintiffs
The
aren't.
only
No.
thing that bothers me about your
Narrative.
Yes,
Explanation?
narrative, your dialogue is that
I thought
we
it was
don't
nerdiness.
know the exact reason
Right.
that started. I understand that it escalated, but I mean,
Right.
what
She
if
lost
he-
her life
what if-
because
what
it
if-
wasn't a
what if he-
4x4.
What if he built a bunk bed
No,
for his daughter? Okay,
it was
or
actually a
did
sandbox
something-
for the pet cat. So it could have been that.
It could have
They
been. But
have
I'm
enough
saying
reason.
that if it was a result of somebody,
All it
you know,
takes is for that
dying or
label
getting
on
hurt
that
or
Right.
tag.
something, I can see it, but we just don't know. That's the only
Right.
thing that bothers
Right.
me about
So-
the narrative.
so-
if it was something that
Still
wasn't
builds
legit,
spilled
I'm right
coffee,
there
right?
with you. But if it was something legit,
Still
then
spilled
yeah,
coffee.
there's
So-
every
Some
more
reason
wine?
to
Yes,
go.
please.
So here's
I thought you'd
my
never ask.
I'm totally know where you're coming from with that. I respect that angle.
Is that
My thought process would be if anybody
Thank you.
has taken on the onus to build anything, right? There are
It's
these
a
things
given.
called
It's a given.
there are these
a
things
ruler.
called tape
Every
measures.
show, every
Ruler.
show I
You
get
used
the-
to
I
get
get the
SWAT
last
with
guy.
it
Gotta lick
in
the rim.
school.
You
You
get
know?
oh wow!
You
I'm not.
The rating on this show just went up.
That is
It's
not
now
something
It's
that's
a
out of
wine.
my-
It's a
Well,
wine.
it
I
went
don't know
from-
what get your mind out of the
It
gutter.
it went
bro.
from a PG-rated show to being a lot. It's now an
Get your
adult show.
get your mind out of the gutter. My word.
That requires a 30-minute bath.
Yeah.
Actually, it would require 7 days being outside of the camp.
So bringing
That's
it back
way
in.
After the show, I have a very funny meme
Bring
to
it
show you
back
guys. Please remind
Yeah.
me.
All right.
Don't let your memes be dreams. Yeah.
So
No.
my thought process, because I thought about that very point.
Okay.
I'm like, if you have taken the responsibility that you have went to the store and you are self-building an item, right? Then you have left your responsibility in your adult card at Home Depot when you went home and didn't measure what you're building.
Yeah.
Like you're assuming now that other people are going to be measuring it right for you. So I'm like, that's where I'm like, I still have a disconnect with the.
Oh, yeah. There's no.
But there's a lot
no
of people like that. Like there's a show that I was turned on to recently that's first-time flippers, okay? And they have no freaking idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're
And they
kids.
go,
It's a show
yeah.
about porpoises.
So those millennials, that's who's to blame, right?
It's not just the
No,
millennials.
no.
It's all the
Otherwise, I say we get up and dance while the chime is going.
Ding ding
So,
ding.
so you may or may
It's
not
like the
agree with
Jeopardy
that, but
song.
that's the purpose of regulation. There are people out there who don't know what the F they're doing, whether
Right.
it's
Most of them
4x4s or anything else.
Most of them don't.
And it's
And
that's-
evolution just
it's-
takes them
it's-
out, and
it's
society
true.
is better.
But that's not the way the United States is. The
Right.
United States
It's bad.
It's a
doesn't just
litigious,
let shit
horrible
happen,
society.
Okay, it doesn't.
Right.
We never have. At least since FDR, we haven't. Okay, so.
So he's the one
I
to
wasn't
blame.
alive.
Well, that
back
was
then.
kind of the beginning of let's take care of each other, you know, more than we are now.
Well, I
So,
think as a
and you
nation,
can call
we're
that
founded
regulation
on
if you want, but I mean, let's look out.
There's
for
definitely
the-
differing philosophies there.
Yeah. So let's look out for the people who.
I'm
don't
about
know that-
evidence
I don't
and
know. I
history.
didn't know that a 4x4 was measured at its
And why it changed?
peak
Do you know
length
why
and
now
not
it is?
as flaccid.
Do you know why now it is a standard 3.5?
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm
He
gonna
just
shut
went
up.
off,
I'm gonna shut up there.
So I will be the Bob the Builder here and just kind of step in and say
He builds
why
stuff
I
all
went
the time.
to
You need
Yeah,
Three and
but
a
what-
half is
yellow
because.
carpenter.
Yeah.
Should I go get my mask?
Do you
Or
have
my cross?
No, you don't need that.
Do I need the what?
Hand me the cross.
You don't, yeah, a yellow Bob the Builder hat.
Oh, Bob the
The big
Builder hat.
hammer.
Yeah.
Hand me the cross.
And hand over the cross.
Hand over the cross.
There's
You already did
geometrics
one.
and.
Right.
But anyway, why it's now 3.5 and not an actual true 4 is because when they started building walls and went to 4-inch, and the whole sheetrock industrial revolution took
I'm
place.
kind of wondering how you
They
put that
actually
together.
That's what my Tinder
made
profile
sheetrock
says.
to where it was half an inch thick, and that's why you still kept your 4-inch width for your
Nice.
door jambs for
Yeah.
your door
Nice. There you
builders.
go.
And
Right.
you were able to keep going with the whole thing.
I just wanted to repoint this out. He made this.
Zebra.
It's pretty darn cool.
I like it.
We didn't really give any big props to it. You know, we kind of
It
had
is
it on
cool.
for a minute, but it is pretty
Yeah.
darn
I
awesome.
would put it in my house.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet. I just
I
wanted
just
to
kind of
point
thought,
that out.
everywhere you go in these markets, whether they're antique shops and stuff, there's always crosses and they always move.
It would work sideways
And
like
it's,
Steve
uh,
You
had
can
it
string
too.
it up, you know.
Yes.
That's totally
It's,
cool. that
it's
way.
obviously not a guitar, right?
Well, I know that, but I'm just,
It just kind of
there-
mesmerizes.
yeah,
Would there
just
be a
it kind
problem
of reminds me.
with
So,
turning
you know,
it into
I'm
I
having
will
my
bring
Eddie
it
Van
For the right
Halen.
price, it's totally
I
acceptable.
will bring a guitar. to the show.
Well, my
It's a
Eddie Van
$200
Halen
cross, but it's a
so-
$2,000 air guitar.
Yeah.
Thanks for handing that over. But yeah, I do a lot of custom woodwork, from Whine Rex to Awesome's Whine Art, and Awesome Customs being the whole line of-
Robert,
You're getting another shameless plug in.
Well, because I only came in with outfits, so I guess I'm entitled to one.
Robert chimed in. He said, "Breaking news: 2x4s aren't exact size either. So who's suing over those?"
Who's doing it?
I say
That's
we.
next.
I say we get ahead of the gun here and we start suing now while we have it. And let's look into 1x4s and 2x6s.
Other things?
And yeah, let's cover all of the different sizes.
Yes.
Get in there and get ahead of the.
Well, you know
game.
I
what? You know
think
what
now-
else? Not all red wines are that good.
Or that
True
red.
story.
So yeah,
But this-
we're doing due diligence on
That's right.
researching that.
All right. So that's my beef with the lawsuit. Let's fly through another one.
We have a very litigious society.
We have a
and
very litigious-
Whenever something doesn't go
Demanding
right in
it
your
is.
life, you get a lawyer and try to sue someone. I think
Yes.
that's atrocious.
Well, I thought that was the way to make money back in the 80s, not now in the 2020s. I mean,
If you're an attorney and you're suing over that kind of crap, I don't like you. I'm sorry.
you
I'm
should
just
be
telling
strung
you.
up by-
I'm just
I mean,
telling you.
There should never
Ken's
be
daughter,
a
hear me.
fee for
Sue
that.
over better things.
Oh, she's going to
Sue over better
prosecute
things.
human traffickers.
Right.
So, yeah,
I'm totally down with that.
She doesn't want to be in corporate law at all.
Right.
So.
Totally down with that. If
Good
you're-
job. Parenting done right.
She's
How long ago did she
suing.
do her bar?
She's in
She's
college right
she's
now.
a freshman at UT Austin.
Yeah, that's
But
what she's going for.
She's in political communication. She made Dean's List at both semesters in her first
Yes.
for her first freshman year. I won't go off on my 5-minute
No.
brag about my daughter.
Well,
it
I
was
did.
recently
I
Father's
did.
Day, so you know.
Ken's daughter.
at
I'm
least
in,
you're proud of your kids.
Ken's
My
daughter. I'm in
parents
Batman
are.
training right now. If you need to take out any human
Hey,
traffickers.
could I be your mild manner sidekick over here?
Yeah, absolutely. I need a Robert. I'm down with that. Just you can pack the heat, right? I'll do all like the karate moves to
I'll
psych
be
them
like
out and
Green
just cap
Hornet,
them.
more like Green Hornet. wouldn't
Right?
it?
Yeah, that'll work. But he was the bad dude. Like the sidekick was that guy that
Yeah,
was really
the
tough.
sidekick was the one that
Yeah.
was kicking ass, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Though you're the black
He
belt,
said the
so.
A word.
I meant that animal. You know, around
What
here.
other points?
Not the A
What
word.
other points do you have to go
Okay,
through
so
in next
the other
8
point,
minutes?
because we have like at least 8 minutes.
I started it off.
You need to make it a 90-minute show.
Yeah.
Hey, request
We
we'll put
go
that
longer.
there. Give us likes,
You
give
don't
us
have to
shares.
stick with the
Encore.
traditional
Exactly. We go
Encore.
longer.
after
Likes and
hours.
shares.
We go
Yeah.
longer. It's okay.
Exactly.
My second
Like
beef,
an hour after hours.
and this is for me much bigger, right? Well, I don't know. Financially, the whole suing over ridiculous things is pretty big on my list.
Sure.
But so look, I'm going to say this name, and man, I pray that people
Should you?
tuning into the show can get past the name. It's just because it was in recent actions. But there's guilty parties on all sides of the aisles here. So I don't want people to get hung up on the name of Planned Parenthood, right? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Planned Parenthood. But I'm equally not a fan of GM. I'm equally not a fan of banks, Chase. Go down the
All of them.
list.
Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo.
Still hear you.
Right. Shh, they'll hear me. Right, I know. Right,
The
exactly.
Illuminati are gonna
The
come
walls
get us.
Right, here
6
comes the
foot.
Illuminati. Yes, exactly. So listen, I don't want anybody to get hung up on the name Planned Parenthood because that represents a certain demographic or whatever in the political spectrum.
Specific organization.
Right? They just happen to have donated $700,000
How is that possible?
to the representative, or not the representative, the candidate for House Representative in Georgia, Mr. Ossoff. I guess that's how you say his name.
Ossoff.
Ossoff.
Nothing American about
He
it.
made me laugh. He made me laugh. My
Ossoff.
Ossoff. Yes.
He said the A word again.
Anyway, they donated $700,000 to this guy's campaign.
Pocket change.
Right?
Yeah.
Pocket change.
Then pocket change.
It is.
Yeah.
It really was.
You know
Pocket
why?
change. They donate millions. Right?
Just like the Koch brothers.
How can you? But let me ask,
thirsty.
in what dynamic? Because I have no I like them or don't like them or anything else. Right? In what entity did they receive federal subsidy? Because it's not just like the Koch brothers. if that wasn't the case.
You don't think that rich people are subsidized by the federal government?
I don't.
You don't think the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? And
Of
that's the way
course
our
they do.
society
Of course
works?
they do. Exxon received federal subsidies.
Not
right?
that I don't like that.
I'm calling them out. Right. I have no problem with the rich getting richer. Right. Yay capitalism. I'm a capitalist.
Yes.
Right.
But don't put down the Planned Parenthoods of the world for doing the same thing that the Cokes of the world do.
I'm putting down everybody who does
they're
it.
trying to
Okay.
purchase.
Right.
Trying to purchase
I'm an equal opportunity slammer in this category.
Slammed.
Right. In
Yeah,
that.
we need some graphics that go like slammed.
Yes.
That's
some
one of
Batman
the,
graphics.
5 S.
Pow!
Yeah,
Bam!
like Batman
Right.
scenes.
One of the 5 S.
One of the 5 S's.
Slam it.
Yes. I definitely
When
have a
getting kicked
beef.
out.
And that's why I went on the big lecture at the beginning of the point to say that I don't want to beat up on Planned Parenthood, as in they're a party that is typically on the left side of the aisle, and because they're on the left side of the aisle. I'm beating up on them because they receive federal funds and they freaking get to donate that money to politicians who
Of
then
course
vote
they
on
do.
funding them right
Yeah,
back.
right
I don't
back.
care if it's Exxon who
Just like-
receives federal funds. I don't care if it's GM
Just
who
like
receives federal
pharmacy.
funds, Chase, Wells Fargo, any of those
Pharmaceuticals,
losers.
Pfizer's,
Big
Big
Pharma.
It should be
Pharma.
illegal. I'm sorry. If you need federal subsidizing, and I'll be like, let's spell that out, what that means.
That's
Means,
Right?
many
means a
syllables.
And that takes all the fun out of it. They got to be
Means
quiet.
a
Listen.
$700,000 from that.
It literally means you cannot make it on your own. We
Right.
have to
No, it does not.
subsidize
That's not what it
your
means.
business. That's what it absolutely
It
means
means
in
just like
practicality.
Trump, they know how to work the system. He even admitted it during the debate. It's because they're smart. It's because I'm smart that I don't pay taxes.
It's because we're idiots that we allow that.
I agree with that, but I'm saying
Um,
that they're working within the constraints of the system. That doesn't make them wrong or dumb or stupid or anything else. It makes them smart.
Yeah,
Just like
work,
Trump.
work
So-
smart, not hard. Right?
I don't disagree hugely with you
Yeah.
on this.
I don't.
Right.
Usually,
I don't.
Hugely.
you don't
Bigly.
disagree bigly.
Bigly. There you. Thank you.
Bigly.
Much
Bigly.
better word. Much
Somebody
better
write
word.
that down. We need
I don't
a
disagree with you
bigly.
bigly. I want to. That was the one agreeing
I
with you.
started-
Now we got two snorts.
Yeah, that's a
Right.
snort. That's a
Oh,
snort
that's
side of
snort.
the room.
I
So-
told her it's
so-
contagious.
Listen,
Three to go.
filing bankruptcy to protect assets and using the law in that sense, I'm like, you can be shady about that, absolutely. Was Trump shady about that? I don't know. I don't know enough about that situation to say. Probably, who knows? I mean, I don't even know, right? Don't care because I don't like it.
Is it
right?
shady to work within the constraints of the law?
However, let me
Nowadays
back.
it is.
Go back
They're in
to
favor.
saying my point was, and Trump actually made the exact same point. He said, I operated within the law. If you don't like the law, change the law. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly right.
That's exactly
The law
what
should
I'm
be
saying.
You can't
That's what
blame
I'm
the
saying.
inventor of
Gotcha.
making the
Right? I'm going,
Gadget.
holy crap, you're saying on one hand, we can't survive unless we get this freaking handout from the government, and all of you guys need to chip in to keep this business going. Thank you for the money. Now we're going to give it to these guys
Right.
so that they'll vote to give us more money.
So is that the Citizens United ruling that affects that?
No.
Or how do you
It's-
change it? How do you change it?
I don't
Legally.
think we can down
No,
here
no.
on this level.
What do you
Well,
want to change it
it's a
to?
It's a grassroots thing.
I
This
don't
is
think
the
we're allowed to
grassroots show, baby.
the corporations are not people. To organizations are not
And
people.
I actually had someone make this point. It actually floored me that they wanted to try to make this assertion. They were like, well, then you're just going to rule out every person who's in the military, and they went through any government employee and everything else because they're getting. I'm like, you're
Not-
telling
not
me you
people.
can't. Yeah, I'm like, you're telling me you can't distinguish between a government
government.
employee and a
Yeah.
corporation that's operating for a profit, getting a subsidy?
Yeah.
I'm like, come
Stupid.
on. We can absolutely distinguish between those points.
And that was Citizens United.
Okay, so is
So
that is that
that needs to
a
go and be that's the. I'm not an expert on it. I know the overview of it, and that is when corporations.
Don joined in. Thank you, Don, for tuning in. Go ahead. Sorry.
Corporations were deemed to be people for the purposes of campaign contributions, and it exploded after that. And with corporations and the Cokes of the world and the Planned Parenthoods
But
of
I
the
think
world
they only entertain
contributing-
us with the idea that we can make an effect to it. I think that's what consumes most of our time. That we think we actually affect the cause by just going over and making, our phone calls that we do. I don't think we make that effect.
Really? So after Trump was elected and all the
I think
Republicans
Trump was elected by
were going to
actual
town
votes.
halls and complaining about the changes that were going to be made to the Affordable Care Act and things that they didn't
Well, they're
realize.
doing the thing with
And-
Obamacare right now, aren't they?
and that-
Just about to.
Well, it's being,
Well, I can
it's
tell you
being
why that.
fought.
Well, I
It's
can
being
tell you exactly
fought.
why that happened. Is that the Republicans were expecting a repeal, which is what most of the Republicans that were running for office were campaigning on. No word about replacing.
No, my
came
point, my
into
point is
until
that
after
those
the
people,
after the
My
nomination.
point
I didn't
is
mean
that
to
the
switch
ci-
them,
that the
so-
citizens, the grassroots citizens, did have an effect and do have an effect. And
Well, they were
we
told
need to go back
one
and have
thing,
The
they
numbers
got
still-
another.
we need to go back and have a '60s style revolution. In early '70s is what we need to do at this point.
Well, we definitely don't need a bunch of
And it's
crazy
gonna take the
Democrats coming
millennials
through with
to
rifles
do
and
it.
trying to
I think
kill
millennials.
elected people.
I think
You know, that's
millennials.
just that's not right.
What's
Younger,
after?
what generation
Maybe
Z or
that'll-
something?
I mean,
Light a
how
fire to
aware are,
everybody.
are
Twist
political things and how
there's-
Yeah, let's
how
do
aware are you of where
Um,
things are and what you can do? How do you affect that circle?
I would like to think of myself being more politically aware than
No,
most
good.
people, just because I've worked on political campaigns. I have experience with that personally. But they all get their information from the internet media, and we know that the internet media can be.
I think it's
Yeah.
how far you search.
Yeah, how
right?
far
you
you
don't
search.
just get one opinion.
Well,
You don't
a lot
just
of
get
a
one
lot of
opinion.
times it's just on Facebook, and you see some BuzzFeed article which is cancerous. Come on,
Most of it,
come on,
98%.
it's BuzzFeed. And I agree. You know, some Breitbart stuff is a little out there too, but you know.
Little.
You know, and so that's mostly, I think, where they seem to get a lot of their resources from, and they aren't able to differentiate between what is commentary and what is actual news, what is factual. So I think
It takes time.
it takes time, yeah, it
Oh,
takes experience.
absolutely. Takes a
And it's actually very difficult and time consuming. That's the
So
process.
you worked on a political campaign. Where do you, as a
She's
not-
a real
not
estate
millennial,
agent.
where do you
She
go to get
affects.
your news?
Where do I get my news?
Yeah, like when
Um,
you're really digging, where do you go?
Well,
I think first you gotta care to find out.
yeah, I
what's
mean, you gotta care, and I don't care a whole lot.
There's a
Because
so,
it's-
so BuzzFeed's not
But,
reliable.
yeah,
Breitbart's
I
not
would- I
reliable.
would
What's
say-
reliable to you?
I would say BuzzFeed's not reliable. Fox, depending on what you watch, what shows there are. You know, certain shows are,
It's okay.
you know, not news. Other shows are commentary, opinionated. I like CNN personally. This one doesn't. I like CNN. Definitely
This
not
one
Bite your
doesn't.
tongue,
MSNBC.
Joe. Bite
Angela
your
Bee.
tongue.
Okay, oh,
MSNBC's
okay,
got
good.
the
Yeah,
Fox left.
yeah, and MSNBC is, you know, the Fox left. So I would say there. I like getting, you know, the resources and opinions of other news from all over the world.
I would prefer those.
You know,
actually.
something more international.
BBC.
Yeah, there you go.
BBC.
Okay,
There
BBC's
you go.
okay.
Yeah.
Al Jazeera.
But again, see, we're talking different generations though. So
I like,
again,
and
we
then
have to
and then
think,
talk.
we have to think appeal, right?
Yeah,
So we
and
have
then
to
and then
understand that her level
Yeah,
of
that's
talk radio too is
According to
also
Hillary, Al
entertaining.
Jazeera is a great network, by the way.
Al Jazeera. That was the one I was thinking about.
Well, I'm curious. I'm trying to remember what campaign did you work with?
I worked with a few.
Yeah.
Most not voluntarily, out of my own volition. No.
Okay.
My stepfather ran for mayor of Houston against Denise Porker, and you know, that was interesting.
Obviously a big fan.
Yeah, I mean,
I like bacon.
Yeah,
Did we
She's-
say
she's got
Parker?
plenty of
Is that
bacon.
her last name?
Parker.
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 Oh,
Parker. I'm just rude.
Shows you
I'm
how
just
aware
crass.
I am.
I'm just crass,
It's
okay?
been a while.
So it was Anise Porker that he ran against. Did a lot of things I disagreed
I
with.
gotta ding that.
That's
and
funny.
Sorry, are we showing
so-
her colors?
So that was he did that. He ran for state rep. He did a state rep race. There was also a couple other campaigns I worked on. One
How long do they last? Are they 6, 8 months?
a
10?
year.
8 to 10
It
years.
was like a year for the mayoral campaign. The
Oh,
mayoral
yeah,
campaign
no,
was about a year. There was
wicked.
a lot of things that happen when you're a part of that. And I was, you know, and just a high schooler when that was going on. So I was after school, get home, you know, block walk, you know, put out the signs at 2 a.m. because they're gonna get stolen. You know, shit like that. And
Were you limited to how you beat? You,
no, I mean it was all over the place.
engaged.
In fact, I'm quite proud of my dad because he was on rollerblades the coolest dude ever. He was on freaking rollerblades
That's awesome.
and block walking, and we had
I can rollerblade.
you know, we were block walking and stuff like
That's an
that.
angle. I didn't know
And,
that about him.
you know,
I was
Yeah.
debating whether to
It was
bring my
it was cool, but it was also, I mean, when you experience that and you're like a campaign child, I guess.
Yeah.
You have to be obviously on your best behavior, and I'm not known for that. But
But you did well. 'Cause
I
you-
did okay.
And
You
thus
get
our
fired.
appearance on the show.
Yes. So if you see Facebook, you'll know otherwise. But basically, it was just, you know, a lot of phone calls, a lot of volunteer stuff, and a lot of lies said about my family, which I tried not to take too personally because I'm, you know,
Yeah,
Try to
you
get
got
that.
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna
have to develop
Yeah,
a thick skin, and
yeah.
I think it's remarkable for someone that was your age to get
Yeah,
involved
to be
like
able
that.
to
Oh,
go
yeah.
through
I mean, of course, it
That's
was
You meet
it
a
was,
lot of
big
people.
maturing.
it was family that
Big
you were
maturing.
helping to
Yeah, I
support, and I
agree.
think that's
So-
a good thing.
Yeah.
Bringing this back to my original assertion, should, from a reform standpoint, one, do we have any kind of agreement that and a corporation that receives subsidy, right? Not government contracts for work, not government employees. Should a corporation that receives, did you even sip the wine?
Yes, I sipped it. It's disgusting, but you know.
It tastes.
I don't
like
even want to give her. I don't even want to give her
like
this thing.
Great
We
juice.
should
It's our rating system.
Oh, okay, rating
Hey,
system.
we do appreciate honesty, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honesty is.
Honestly, it's best policy.
So what
So
was it that we're
listen,
trying to
try to
decide
come-
whether
so
we agree or
whether-
disagree?
Yeah, so I'm
Whether
like, look, do we
Government subsidy for private business, right? Is it wrong or right? Is that what you're saying?
Right? No,
I-
no. Wait. Not is the subsidy wrong, right?
I think so.
I don't. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I look. I'm definitely. We're there.
It
right?
shouldn't be getting
I'm
those
like,
kind of
to
funds.
me, if the business can't survive on its own
Let it
merits,
die.
let it die. I'm absolutely with
Unless
you on
they
that
own a
point.
lot of the
Yeah.
Right,
foreclosures and
Right.
real estate properties.
I'm there, right? But
Yeah.
that point aside, Planned Parenthood and the likes, please don't get honed on that word. I don't care if it's right of the aisle, left of the aisle. I'm 100% the same. I'll call out, go out.
Ow!
I'll call out Exxon. I'll call out Chase. I'll call out Wells Fargo. I'll call out
call
any
them all
number
out.
of corporations
Let 'em have it.
who receive any kind of government funds as a subsidy to help keep their lazy butts afloat. Well, they're not really lazy, but
Just
you know,
incompetent, that's all.
Incompetent. Thank you.
There's a
Incompetent
difference,
butts
right?
afloat.
There is a difference.
It's the distasteful nature
That's
of
a
influence.
pretty-
If you
that's a
have
pretty-
enough money, you can get some influence. If you're Planned Parenthood and you can drop almost $750,000
still be a Negro
on a
fool.
race, then you're expecting something out of that person if they win. So it's the distasteful nature of money and how that influences our political process.
Well, look, and it happens to be an
That's my rant for
It
the
happens to be an organization that is on the D side, and for that, you know, it's like I have to ask Ken's grace,
I'm independent.
right? You
Since
lean
what
lean that
age?
way, so that
You
that's
Texans think I lean that way. If you were out of Texas, you'd understand.
No,
that-
you
that's
said you
independent
were a
moderate.
Republican at one time,
I
and
was a
so
young Republican.
you moderated your
Here's
position
Mystique
on a lot of
from
things, and you
X-Men.
took a
He
bigger
can play
scope
any
of
part.
it.
Nice.
There's
I
nothing
like
wrong
that
with
reference. I
So-
get
so
it.
listen.
What's that?
Mystique from the X-Men. She can play any part.
Right.
Yeah.
So listen,
And she looks darn sexy.
Yeah, just-
J-Law.
I use Planned Parenthood. Bring it back in. I use Planned Parenthood for the reason that they have a 99.5% donation to one specific party, right?
And we know.
Just
like the Koch
that's
brothers.
on.
And if you can give me an example from them of where they receive subsidy
Hurry
from the
up,
government, I'm not
it's
saying they
about-
don't.
it's going
I'm just
on the
saying.
countdown.
I understand your point. Okay, I disagree with that. My point is that with the Citizens United ruling that allowed corporations to be treated as people and donate as they see fit, it's not just corporations or organizations that receive subsidies. It's any corporation or organization should be reeled in on that and should not just be allowed. It's not whether they receive subsidies or not. We don't, yes, we're a capitalistic society, but
Right.
we
But
don't,
you
I
still
don't
should
want
not be
that to
receiving
affect
Right.
the
Any-
three elections of
Right.
our leaders.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
a member of
Whether
a
they're subsidized
hey,
or not.
Ken,
we don't just hang
I
on.
think you're hung up on the subsidy thing, And I agree with you that Planned Parenthood shouldn't do that, but I also think the Koch brothers shouldn't do that. I think that Exxon shouldn't do that. I think that
Look at this way.
organizations shouldn't do that.
We're probably not too far off on that point. We really aren't, right? I see it as a shade of a lesser degree in that if I'm a business and I'm generating profits and I'm kicking butt and taking names in the world of economics and I'm generating money and I see fit to say I'm going to donate money to people who align with my worldview, I'm like
the KKK.
and then I'm like,
and so many others.
I'm like, then that's one thing. She did.
Yeah.
Then that's one thing, right? And I can definitely look as far as how that influences American politics. And like I said, we probably aren't that far off, right? But I absolutely see that as diametrically different, diametrically opposed to now I'm getting government funds to keep me afloat as a business.
Tax
and
subsidies?
and I
Al Capone used to do it in Chicago.
Are tax cuts subsidies?
No, I don't agree with that. Because
Back in
a
Chicago,
tax is what it
they
is.
did
It is a tax. So I'm not gonna interchange the words of subsidy
or
and
zero
tax.
or zero taxes,
Right.
where the individuals are
No,
paying
it's
taxes.
broken.
Right.
Can we get so much more
One other
work?
subject.
That's a whole other subject, right?
Didn't
For
Al
me,
Capone do it
for the
on-
government to say, I'm going to
that.
take from you, Ken, X dollars, and if you don't pay it, I'm going to put you in jail, right? That's a reality, right? I'm going to take that money from you, and I'm going to give it to Ken. And now Ken, as a business,
I've seen how he lives.
right? Now Ken, as a business, can say, I'm going to give it back to you, Joe,
Yeah.
right? Because you're running and you favor my position.
Bruh.
That's absolutely freaking wrong.
And that never happens on
And it's been going on
the
for
Republican
Of
side.
course it does.
Okay.
I've been very clear about that.
So talk about one of those.
Right? If I had one, I would. And I've said Exxon, I've said all these companies, right? And the reality is the companies of those sizes play both sides of the freaking aisle, right? They're not a D or an R.
They both belong to the same
I'm
one.
picking on Planned Parenthood because they do vote one side of the aisle, right? To the degree that it's insane. It's like
I think
99.5%.
we talked about who governs them both.
So my point is that there should never be a position where the taxpayer has money forcibly taken from them and it's given to a business in the form of, we think so much of you guys that you just need to be kept alive. You and I are on the same page. I'm
They're
like, let them
fulfilling
freaking
the
die.
agenda.
Because they're doing a service to young women who need help.
Right.
They're not.
And there's
They're
plenty
just
of other
fulfilling
people-
An agenda of what
I agree with that, but nevertheless, there's plenty of other organizations who have to compete in the free market that do the same thing.
I know.
And if they didn't have this behemoth that was being overfunded and given free money from the freaking government, they would thrive. That's the reality. I believe in the free market, right? The better product survives unless the freaking government steps in and says, I'm going to choose you
Yep.
and give you free
Like
money,
Pokemon.
right? So,
I choose you.
so,
You are a nerd.
right? So let them die. But I'm not even making that argument. I'm just saying, look, if we believe in this entity enough that they must survive, and we're going to forcibly take money from Americans and give it to this organization, they sure as hell should not be able to take that money and
throw
donate
it
to a
back
political
to
party.
The point was made. Yes.
So
Got it.
there we go.
Check. Book in.
So
Yeah.
on the next show, we'll solve all the world problems and fix that issue. Be sure to
Right.
tune in. Be sure to tune in next week.
Wasn't I going to do a demonstration of the NASCAR racing how I can change a tire in like less than 5 seconds?
I don't know.
Is that going to be on the
Next
I don't know.
show.
Can you?
Yes.
The next show
Where
will
that?
have plenty of cosplay attire, and we'll be discussing Megyn Kelly's shoe collection.
On the next show.
Megan Kelly.
We should do that. I think from
Yeah,
now
I
on, we're
want
going to
one.
say
Oh
all
my
the
God,
amazing
awesome.
things that are going to happen on the next
Megan,
show.
Megan Kelly might be available for that show.
That'd be
Right.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
We're going to talk about all the amazing things that happen on the next show, every show from now on. We're gonna,
Awesome.
it's like, yeah, we're going to solve the
Very
world's
cool.
problems. Be sure to tune in next week.
I said we asked her what the next topic should be.
Yes. Tell us. What is the next topic going
She
to
probably
She
is
is
completely
so
unaware of
into
what's
the
happening
feed.
right now.
She's just keeping us in tune.
All right,
You actually
guys.
seen our image there?
We've gotten to the part of the show where we're going to rate the wine.
Now,
be? Shit.
Yes.
let's rate the wine.
Yeah,
I'm
what are you
ready.
doing over there?
We're looking
I'm
at
ready.
cool things. God.
I'm
Do this on y'all's own time.
I'm snapping the paper.
No,
So
they're
what,
ready
to go.
What about
Yes.
the
So,
rating system?
yes.
Of the
Oh,
wine?
it's
Did it
one by
taste
one.
like
So-
So,
Okay,
so,
okay.
so, yes. So we're gonna rate it as we go around. We're gonna talk
Okay.
about the wine.
I'm going to do it like Joe.
Yeah, I can't even help it. I do that. I don't even. I catch
I
myself.
know you do the pizza.
We had
thing.
Classy.
We had the
White
Miravas
comes out.
Argentinian Malbec,
Yes, we did.
right? And we're gonna rate the wine now. I just want to put in a disclaimer. She literally doesn't drink at all, so technically
She doesn't,
we're gonna
she
corrupt
doesn't
her.
need to.
We're gonna
Jeez,
correct
chill
you.
out.
technically 20.
Doesn't need to.
We're just saying.
That was a simulated sip.
Yes,
Oh.
a simulated
It was
sip.
all CGI.
Just a tease.
There's
Yes.
green liquid here. It's antifreeze. We just kind of CGI'd it.
Yes.
So that it looked like
Yes.
wine.
Precisely.
So, Steve,
All right, again, I'm going to go with this is the best wine that
That's
we've had
why
on
you
the
keep
show
coming back.
in 10 weeks. So,
Are you on the
um,
show consistently?
oh yeah.
Okay.
yeah, he's
Okay.
only missed
So
one.
you
show.
know. So you know exactly.
He's only missed
Yeah.
one.
You
show.
know.
So I'm
David
gonna, I would
Letterman
buy it.
had Paul.
I would drink it. I would give it away as a gift. So if that's your last bottle, I'll bring something this week. I'll trade you a bottle of my Boss for something that you like, and
But
then
he
we'll,
said
we'll
two.
do.
I'll trade mine for that white Australian Ugalala.
Oh my God!
Oh, the
dude,
one
that-
with the little megaphone on
the
it.
ukulele.
Oh, I don't
the
have that
ukulele
one.
is absolutely insanely
Yeah,
good. It
it
is
is.
the
I want
Miravas
that.
equivalent in
And
the white.
there's a French Bordeaux that came this week
I
too.
saw that.
Yeah.
I'll trade all of my Malbecs to you for.
All of them.
I haven't.
It's
you-
not
you-
like
you-
trading
I have not
wine.
had. I
You
have not
had
had
the,
the
white-
Ganache
the
together.
They
Bordeaux?
trade wine
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
trade playing cards. I mean, I go to
Yu-Gi-Oh
shops for this.
or-
Okay,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
so
for sure.
last
What
finishing
kind of
up,
playing
guys.
cards?
We are involved.
Babe Ruth shit.
Four out of five of the people here on the show are part of a wine club, and
And
it
you
is-
will too.
It's an amazing wine club. It is the go to getpaidwineclub.com. Check it out. Contact us after the show. Amazing organization. The wine is insanely good.
Just say who invited you, babies.
That's right. That's where we get the wine from. It's great stuff. So anyway, so how did you rate the wine, the Malbec?
Joe, you just never disappoint when you bring a special artist from way down south, you know. He brings only the best out here, so I'm going to give it a 5.
Yes. We've had the wine on the show before. We've rated it before. But consistently, I've shared this with friends. Hands down, one of the best reds I've ever had. I absolutely have to give it a 5. It's got such a great, smooth finish to
Not
it.
too dry either.
Not too dry.
I'm not big on
I mean,
dry.
it's
You're gonna blow the curve.
all the way. Yeah, she's gonna blow the curve. It's gonna happen here.
Well, of course, for her.
It had a
made her pucker.
4.75 the last time we did this. So anyway, I love it. It's one of my all-time favorite reds I've ever had.
My mom and I enjoyed the 3 bottles that I had.
I.
Is your mom an alcoholic? I mean,
Not at all. It wasn't all in the same day.
Oh, it wasn't all the same day.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
just
thought
day
it was
after
in the
day.
same after, same hour or something.
Yes.
Is your mom an alcoholic?
Okay.
That was
Very
Stassi.
straightforward.
Go ahead, Stassi.
I'm a straightforward person. I don't drink, so I don't know what to compare this to really. It smells okay.
Hawaiian punch.
I don't drink that anymore. It's fattening. It's pretty to look at. It was sour. I'm gonna give it a 1. Grape out of
Yeah.
grapes.
I'll
So-
give her a 5 for honesty.
And
Yeah,
there you go.
it's an
Drink
acquired
water.
thing.
Drink water.
Drink water.
Stay hydrated out
Yes.
there,
Mhm.
Facebook people.
Yes, if you're drinking alcohol, have water with it.
Exactly. That's the way
Always.
to sip and
Yep.
do the thing. Yes.
Equal sip one, sip the other. It also cleanses the palate and lets you enjoy it after
All
the
over
water
again.
more, whether it's
Yes.
whether it's wine
Chocolates.
or beer or
You
anything
like
else.
chocolates?
I do not.
You don't like
Chocolate.
chocolates?
I don't like
Chocolate.
many sweet things.
I think she's
Speaking
falling
of
asleep
chocolate.
over there.
Yeah, she was giving her like the, huh?
That's the
You don't like chocolate? What?
Oh, that's what are you? An unhuman?
What kind of female are you? You're betraying our species.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I kind of think I'm a dude sometimes, but my parents wonder. Anyways, your
Nobody
turn.
wonders. What I have to say about red wine is when it comes to wine, I like white better, much better. And so, when I'm drinking red wine, I have to have food with it in order to really enjoy
Oh,
it.
last time I brought food.
I
Not
have
today.
to. When you spoke about chocolate, I love chocolate with red wine, steak.
Did you have some dark
baked
chocolate
potatoes.
almonds?
I did, but
Okay.
I didn't have it in here. So, and then
I meant to bring it in
anybody
here.
who's following me on Facebook knows that my favorite with this Malbec is a chocolate satin pie.
Oh yeah.
But so, it is a great red. I'd give it a 4 just because it's not a white, and it's not a premium champagne.
He's
now
obviously a wine
actually-
racist.
Actually, I'm going to have to give it a 3.5.
You went
because-
ahead and went
yeah.
step forward to the
We'll-
colors.
We'll go
yeah,
with
you're
the-
gonna have to show half a grape.
We'll go with the 3.5 because
There you
it's
go.
not a premium champagne. It's not a great white. It's a great red. So
And there was
that's
no
as high as
chocolate.
I'll go. If there's chocolate, if you had brought chocolate
There's
satin pie in
chocolate
here,
almonds.
I may have
Probably
given it
did
a 5.
Yeah, but he can't do a review.
would've- he would've done
we're
half the
live
bottle.
right now. He can't do review.
Yeah.
That's my 2 a.m. deal right there.
I actually
For those lonely
bought
nights.
There's
dark
no idea.
chocolate
No, actually, it's
almonds for this
kind of
segment of the
fun.
show, and I left them in
They're
the
right
car.
in the other room.
Yes.
Cream and-
Yeah.
I brought them into
We
the
still
conference
can't
room where
undo
everybody
his
was munching on them,
3.5.
but I forgot to bring them in here for the show. All right, guys. So we're wrapping up the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you being part of the mission of the show. Like the show, like the page, share the page, tell your friends about it because we are on a mission. Right? We're not doing this. We don't get paid. There's no big money happening here.
What about the $10
Hey,
you gave me like earlier?
what?
No, I'm just
Right.
kidding.
There is great wine being shared.
I did get a cigar, right?
And,
I have one of
and
your
we,
Monte
we will smoke a
Cristos.
cigar here shortly.
Weren't you
Get
still
lit.
signing the title to me?
Right. So I'm just saying, be a part of the mission, right? Get this out there because we need to talk
Just
about
remember to talk.
difficult subjects. We need to engage each other to be a part of the solution. If you want to be on the show, go to wineknowwine.com. That's WINE.
No wine
No,
going on.
WHINE.com. Drop your name in the hat, or just shoot me a PM here on Facebook. Drop me a line here with your name and contact information. We'll
You
get
need
you on
to
the
be
show.
sitting here.
That's right.
Or just
You need
show
to be
up to the
sitting
show,
right here.
not looking
Or
to be
just
on
show
the
up to
show,
the show.
show
right?
and
up.
get drafted into the
That's
show.
what I did.
Totally unprepared.
Yeah.
That happens too, right? So just show up, hang out. You're going to get some good wine too, so it's all right,
Being honest.
right? So anyway, we're on a mission here to save America. That's no joke. We genuinely believe that this is something that needs to happen. Conversation needs to happen where we disagree and have a good time doing it over a great glass of wine. That's our show. We hope you liked it. We'll see you next week. Friday at 5 o'clock. We're
Nobody
out.
bled.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.